before we end, I want to get to a space where you talk about some of the philosophical belief systems that this impact is going to have on us as a culture, because of the quick access to information, even more information than we ever dreamed possible. I
Mhm.
love reading. I have books. I love collecting books. I love old books. I love reading and writing in my books, and it's a calming thing. But I do find we're in a space where we're getting cursory knowledge. We're getting almost like high level overviews and calling that like knowledge when it really is just high level information. So,
Mhm.
how do you feel about how this might impact from education to even, I talk about behavioral science, from even social
Mhm.
manipulation to who the gurus are, who the influencers are, who the speakers are for the next generation with the concept of AI being involved. What's your thoughts about how this might impact the world?
I mean, that's a great question too. The fears and worries that came with the onset of the internet, and again, you and I are old enough to have seen this. When the internet came around and Google was first unveiled to the world, there was a lot of fear around, well, if kids can just Google all the answers to their tests, they're never going to learn. If they could just go look it up on the internet, why would they ever open a book?
Mm.
And we see that, sure, there's some degree of truth to that, but by and large, kids still learn. It hasn't undermined our education, in the way that we thought it would.
Yeah.
And I don't have that fear. Sure, people are going to use AI to shortcut things. They're going to shortcut knowledge, access, and so forth. But I believe in education.
Mm.
And I think just like the internet boom, there's a lot of businesses going to be left behind by this
Hmm.
technological overhaul that we're having. And we need educators out there teaching people how to use this technology. I think by and large, we as humans are going to evolve with the technology. And we're still going to learn. We still need to learn how to read and write, right? And we still need to have good teachers in place that force us to use and flex our creative muscles, right? Not use these AI as a crutch, but to learn from it. And I'll give you a great example of how I'm teaching my kids how to use AI to not just be lazy, but to actually learn and educate them and expand their knowledge. So we have image generators inside of Magi, right? And we also have, the thing about image generating an image with AI, you have to be super descriptive.
Hmm.
The better you are at describing the picture, the better the picture ends up, right? So think about it like this: if you're telling an artist to paint something for you, you have to tell them in as much detail what you want them to paint. If you don't give them all the details they need, they have to invent the details to fill in that space. But
So,
as a kid, you don't have that vocabulary.
mhm.
So I built into Magi a prompt enhance button
Mhm.
where you can write a very dead simple prompt, almost no description whatsoever. Hit that prompt enhance button. What the AI is going to do is going to craft that description for you so that it's got all that rich detail in there, and then you can make changes to that
Okay.
detail that fits your vision for what you want the AI
So
to
you're actually
generate.
teaching how to be descriptive. You're helping us know what descriptive means, being more.
Right. So
Gotcha.
that prompt enhance could be a lazy button, but what I'm teaching my kids to do is read through that description,
Hmm.
see what words it used and which words you may want to replace. Maybe you didn't want an orange tabby cat. Maybe you wanted a black cat with blue eyes.
Hmm.
My kids' vocabulary has
Hmm.
greatly increased
Right.
because they're using this as not just a lazy button, but as a learning tool.
If there's a word
And
they don't understand, do they look it up and figure it out, or?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
they'll ask me, and I'll be like, "Oh, that
Well,
word means
essentially,
this." Of course,
we only use 5% of our language anyway, so it's actually a great
right.
thing that helps build a vocabulary, which is really creates a whole different perception of how you see life. So that's a great way to show how AI could help, especially
Mhm.
with kids. That's a great thing to bring up. I'm glad you brought that up. You and I are kindred spirits in so many things. I really appreciate you telling me what you shared earlier before we started getting on camera. Appreciate your family and what you're doing with your kids. I think Magi is great. I think anybody who actually goes in and just spends $20 for just 1 month to just try it out, could be easily hooked. I mean, because it's definitely a go-to resource. I really thank you for having it. I appreciate you giving me the time. I really do.
Absolutely, Julian. It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm happy to do this anytime. You're a cool dude, man. I'd love to chat with you more.
Appreciate you.